People who drain your energy, covert narcissists. Covert narcissists always will have imposter syndrome, and if they're ever supportive or believe in you, that is just for their own social purposes. You see, they're automatically negating no matter what, and it is always going to result in failure. They are ultimate saboteurs. You see, the thing about smear campaigns and the thing about the sabotage is that narcissists become highly envious of your happiness and authenticity. You see, they are automatic failures because they're neurologically stuck in the fear. So you see, they're always in fear, they're always suspicious, they're always negating, they're always distrustful. Anything that you do for them is going to be perceived as a transactional manipulation. They do not trust you and they project themselves onto you. So in business, they're dangerous, relationships as well. You see, no matter what it is that you suggest, no matter what it is that you do, they milk you for that attention. Because you see, if you have objective awareness and you can see the future, you can see how things could go, they only want the motivation of the association, but they do not have the capacity to be inspired. And no matter what it is, they will become jealous, they will become envious and spiteful. And so they will do things in business to sabotage you. They automatically know themselves as an imposter no matter what it is that they have. Every single narcissist is an imposter, every single one. And what that means is even if they're objectively successful, they need constant reaffirmation of this because their own mind, is constantly stuck in a loop of fear and distrust. And so they're extremely sensitive to criticism because it merely surfaces the way that they feel underneath the mask. And so there is no hope, none. You see, they're always going to be that way, always. And there is nothing you can do about it, nothing. There isn't a better option, there's not a better explanation, that you'll just be talked in circles because you see, every solution, they invent a new problem because that's the way their mind is organized. Their mind is organized as a pervasive scrutiny towards everything real. That is why they become conspiracy theorists. That is why they're saboteurs, is because anything that you involve them in, any accountability that they have, they will justify quitting, they will justify procrastination, that they may want the same things you want, but whatever it is that they're supposed to do, they will start justifying why they're not doing it. They will procrastinate and they will become the victim. That is what happened to me. You see, what got me to this point was I encountered a man that had a CNC business out here where I live. Oh, he was all about everything I wanted to do. For my superchargers, intake manifolds, intercoolers. What he did is he sat me down and he wanted to talk business. And he learned everything about my position, my finances, to show me his. And so he walked me around his business, showing me all the machines and all the equipment that would work to make all of my dreams come true. And he made some big, lofty promises. But you see, once he got what he wanted from me, which was all my intellectual property, which is everything that he would have needed to fulfill his obligation, he couldn't do it. That you see, the problem with these people is they can work as an underdog to prove themselves, like the routine work that he could do on a day-to-day basis. When the pressure's on in his own mind, it contaminates him. In fact, see, they feel like they got set up for failure because they induce themselves into pressure when they make the big promises. And so anytime you present a real opportunity to these types of people, they self-sabotage and they blame you for it. And so the bigger the opportunity, the bigger the sabotage. That's the only way that they function. They become envious and jealous of you. You see, they can never be happy. There isn't any amount of success that will ever make a covert narcissist fulfilled or happy. And so they sabotage you because they feel like you don't deserve to feel that happy. And so what they'll do is if they're on your team, like in this case, this grown man wasted a year of my time literally invested six figures into all of the work that I had to do, worked on my back to earn all the money. And then what he did is he started to get grandiose and started to want to get involved in the engineering. He became jealous and envious of 21-year-old aerospace engineering students. And it's something I didn't even understand what gaslighting was, but he kept delaying and making these excuses, but he kept reaffirming his commitment and how we're gonna make it here, make it there. And when he would do the bare minimum, like he would just make a little test piece, for him, like it was like success and triumph and like I'm supposed to be happy, but he's 9 months behind on the production of everything. And I went with him when I could have gone somewhere else. And so he future faked me into investing significant money into more engineering than I actually signed on for by deferring the cost to after he produced it and then allowing him to invoice me and I would sell. So rather than having two products, I could do all of them, and he wanted all of it right away. And he claimed to have canceled $250,000 of business so he could focus solely on mine, but that was all a lie. And so, he just started working with an attorney in the background, and instead of doing any of the work, what he wanted to do was prove to himself that he didn't need me. And so he wanted to steal my engineers, steal my engineering, take everything that I had provided to make prototypes, and he wanted to sue my company to bully and disable me so he could steal my intellectual property and try to effectively become me. But he doesn't have enough intelligence or creativity. He didn't understand that the engineers were not in any way responsible for the designs, that they came from my mind. And I just hired these people because they had computer skills and they were young, and I gave them the credit and I paid them very well. But it ended up being a loss, and he ended up suing me, and he effectively destroyed my business. And it revealed all these narcissists that were around me. But you see, for him, he was waiting for this betrayal moment where he was going to unveil the truth of the plan, like he outsmarted me. And so he had this contract, this grandiose contract, where he gave me this ultimatum, like, I built this supercharger and I gave him the designs and all he had to do was make them. But instead, he made one part of a supercharger and stopped. And so he knows the PRI show's coming. He knows that he's absolutely delayed the launch of my business. He is purposely sabotaged by not making any of the products, none of them. The only thing I got from him were 4 pieces of aluminum for about $400 worth of value. That's it. And almost a year of delay and bullshit and stress, because you see, by sabotaging, he kept getting supply. He kept having meetings to reaffirm, and he'd have me almost begging him, like trying to figure out what does he need? Like I've given him everything. He's not upholding his agreement. And it would just be these delays. And so he kept milking me and having these stupid, nonsensical, ignorant, peacocking engineering meetings with my engineers that I thought, well, maybe he's just being meticulous. He has to make our products, but he's pretending that he's actually engineering them. I didn't really get it until after the threat. And so here I am, got the approval to manufacture the world's most efficient supercharger systems on the Eaton platform, approved by $100+ billion company to work with their engineers, and I give him all the engineering, and he didn't have to spend a penny. We got to bypass a $500,000 buy-in to have access to these rotors and be the 5th manufacturer in the world of Eaton products in the aftermarket. And I did all that legwork myself, got involved with the PRI show, SEMA, and this was the launch of my business, and he knew that. And so what he did after making a part of the supercharger, like he did something big, is I was happy now. I'm just like, at least we're getting something, right? Well, that's when he blindsides me. This contract said I needed to give him 25% of my business up front, $150 an hour just to consult with me when we talk about my products on the phone so he can make them. And he wanted me to sign this in my name and my company name, where he had full ownership interest in my intellectual property for life, both in my name and his name. A 5-year contract where he's the only person in the world that can manufacture anything that comes from my imagination, Nathan, and my performance company, Titan Performance Dynamics. And at his renewable discretion only, or cash him out for 80 grand. If I don't do that by today, he's gonna sue me, and I have till 6 p.m. to let him know. That is what got me here.